so how can we treat symptoms of menopause, or how can we prevent having bad symptoms of menopause? But I don't think we can actually prevent menopause. So
No, we
how
can't.
can we treat?
No, so menopause is a natural occurrence. I mean, it is what every woman, it is expected that every woman at a stage in their life will go through, will come into menopause. And that's something for some women, really. It's not always bad. Some women look forward to it, because what you're not thinking about is that menopause also means that there's a cessation of periods. I mean, a lot of women I know do not like to see their periods. It's just that you know that when you don't see your period, it may mean that something is happening. But when you know that it's associated with menopause, and you don't have to worry, especially for people who have very heavy periods, or who have very long duration of periods, or who their menstrual cycle is associated with one form of distress or the other, it's often a relief. And also you know that the presence of the commencement of menopause, or the establishment of menopause means the end of natural reproduction. And so for many people, that concern for pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy, is out of the window.
Well, so these are some advantages, right?
Yeah, so it really does have some advantages, even though we know that it comes with symptoms. Just as the same way menstruation comes with symptoms. I mean, people have mood swings, people have pain, menstruation pain, you know, there's the anxiety of not soiling yourself and all of that. So, but with menopause, we know that the symptoms that come are the hot flashes that we talked about. Then we didn't mention vaginal dryness, because
Yes,
with vaginal dryness, then it can also affect sex drive, because of the issues related with vaginal dryness. So I know that is a thumbs down for us.
But the pharmaceutical products that you can use, pharmaceutical products.
Yes.
Please do not
Yes.
put no
Even natural remedies that work, that we can use. But so there's that. And then there's also the osteoporosis, which is also a concern. And that is, when I say osteoporosis, I mean weakening of the bone mass. You know, and that is also because of the hormones, the activity of the hormones on the bones. And then aside that, there is the skin thinning, because we know that estrogen is also involved in helping to ensure that the skin is moisturized. And so during menopause, there's a reduction. It's the ovaries stop producing estrogen. Now it left to the adrenal glands to produce little estrogen that we will still need. So there's that. So there's skin thinning for people. For some people, there's hair thinning. For some people, there is also a predisposition to heart disease, right? And then for some people as well, for some women, there is also the predisposition to weight gain, because it is also said that during menopause, the establishment of menopause also brings about slower metabolism, you know, for people. So for each of all of these symptoms that I have mentioned, there are ways to assuage. Yes, there are ways to manage the situation. There's nothing that, you know, cannot be handled. For the hot flashes, for instance, we know that, especially for those of us in Africa who live in very hot climate, then we know that there are things that we need to do. We need to ensure that we wear clothes that are cooling. You know, when you know that you have the tendency to sweat more, so you want to wear clothes that you know that will allow for more aeration, and cotton it's important. And also we have different types of cotton, so you want to look at that. What will make you more comfortable, the type of styles of clothes that you wear, and those ones that, you know, you want to avoid the ones that are heavy, and that will make you sweat some more. Then besides that, we now have hand fans, portable hand fans that you can hold. Especially in very hot situations, you know, those are things that we can easily attain and get. You can take that around, mobile ones, and then just let that cool you. And then have more baths often. So most times when you get home, take baths, take warm baths, not hot baths now. Just take room temperature water and have hot baths, and then ensure that your room is well aerated. If you have an air condition, make sure you use it more often. Fans, and this is where the men have to be more understanding. Yeah, and
Yeah.
accommodating, and I was like, no, but it's really cold. But I'm feeling hot. It causes a lot of issues among people in the menopausal area. And then also that some people also have chills. 1 minute
Yeah.
you're feeling very hot, the next minute you're sweating so much, night sweat and all of that. So I'm being able to regulate the temperature to make sure that it is convenient for you. Those are simple ways in which we can deal with hot flashes. And so we talked about hot flashes. The second is the vaginal dryness.
That's
We
right.
have
Yes.
we have lubricants that can help, with that. And so if you need help with if you know that sex is becoming, I mean, the act of sexual intercourse is becoming more difficult or less exciting because of the pain or the discomfort that you have, then you can always speak to your doctor or go to a pharmacist, ask for lubricants. There are different types of
Right. Yeah.
lubricants, and you find what works for you. Then when I also talk about natural remedies, I don't mean those things that they sell that they tell you to insert into your vagina, because we know that that will cause even more problems,
No problem.
because we know that there is a thinning, and for some people there is a thickening, and so that thinning, and then you put something that will irritate the wall, it will cause more problem and to do more harm than good. So when I'm talking natural remedies, I'm talking about things like, I mean, I've heard that tiger nut does wonders to help with sex drive. Some people
Yeah.
have sworn to pineapples, eating pineapples, how it helps. Some do cloves.
I heard Ewedu also helps.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. But I've also heard of cloves, the mixture of cloves, orange juice, and honey. Different things
Oh,
there. So when I talk remedies, I'm talking things that can help, and dates as well, that
they
can help to
okay.
stimulate, yes, sex drive if you take those. So there are remedies for this. And then there's also hormone replacement therapy. But you would have
Yeah.
to speak with your doctor, because that also has its positives and its negatives. So you want to ensure
Yeah.
that it will not cause more harm for you. And if you actually qualify, some people have very, very bad hot flushes that they may require to have some hormone replacement to help us through the situation. Then we also have the heart disease, the weight gain, and yes, those two. We know that a healthy diet, being more conscious of your diet, will go a long way to help with that. And ensuring that you engage in physical activity. Because we know as we grow older, we find that for most people, the type of work that you do and your lifestyle may involve a more sedentary lifestyle where you don't really move as much. And for
Yeah.
many people, for many women, it is a phase where, most women at this age don't have toddlers any longer. So you
Mm-hmm.
may not be needing
Be
to run
moving
around
about.
as
Yeah.
much. And then your work may be more managerial, that you may not need to, be on the move as much. So you want to really ensure that you um, engage in physical activity, get all these health gadgets that help to prompt you to move
To
more often.
move.
Yes, and to
Yeah.
exercise. And then the type of exercise that you're looking at are not exercises that will really predispose you to damages. You want to be more careful, because again, as we said, there's the danger of thinning of the bone mass. So you want to also be careful. But there are a lot of exercises that you can engage in. There's yoga, there's strength training. You can even still do cardio. And so find
Yeah.
something, that's dancing. There's so many things that you can do, but it has to be something that you enjoy and something that you are consistent in. And it will also help with building the bone mass. Another thing is, you may also need to have an evaluation. Yeah,
Hi,
so
Dr. Ann. Thanks for coming back.
yeah, never happened to me.
Okay.
So my
Yes.
connection went out. Yeah, so my connection went out. I hope it doesn't happen again.
I
Yeah.
guess it's why we have the battery operated fans as,
Yeah.
as opposed to be waiting for, yes, because you never know. So I was saying that while you were gone, that I wanted to know more about osteoporosis, because it's something that you don't actually know physically,
Mm-hmm.
that you're actually
Yeah.
having osteoporosis. What do you do in to be able to find out? And Michelle has asked, what tests are conducted during the 40 plus screening, because I mentioned something around that. And LSK Africa wants to know if menopause can cause weight gain.
Weight gain. Yes. So okay, no, so let's not talk about, let's go to the osteoporosis. Usually, so during this period, it is always good. That's why we say that you should always have health checks. So usually during routine health checks, and usually around this period, it may be discovered that your vitamin D is not optimal. There's an optimal level. And once it's found that there's the level isn't optimal, your doctor, your physician would usually prescribe a vitamin D supplements, for you, which is involved in the process of bone marrow density. And so that's important. But another way that you can also help to ensure that you build your bone mass is by exercising. Because if you exercise, and that's why we say, consistently, even before menopausal period,
Okay.
Yeah, so I've just switched to I was using my Wi-Fi, yeah. So now I've switched to my mobile data. So as exercises, as I mentioned earlier, exercises really does help with the growth of the bone mass, and also helps with the heart, because we also see that menopause also comes with predilection to experiencing heart diseases. So it's important that, so you can't rule out the importance of exercises in helping to maintain a healthy lifestyle and diet. And then to answer LSK's question on weight gain, yes. So it's not really that menopause causes weight gain, but we find that a lot of people tend to add on weight during the menopause, and there are several factors for it. One, we know that there's slower metabolism, and so if you're eating the same dietary, there's a need for some form of dietary modification, because when you eat the same and you're not moving as much, the food tends to accumulate, and then it gets stored. And for most women, it gets stored as abdominal fat, which again, it's not good for the heart, and for the blood vessels. So those are some of the ways that menopause can contribute to weight gain. It's not as if menopause is responsible for weight gain, but it can contribute to it, being that it is said that there's slower metabolism going on. But that wouldn't be the case if you are physically active and you're on the move, and there's a lot of dietary modification involved. Because we know that we're not moving as much, then we know that we don't need to eat as much as we used to. And then the type of foods, the quality of food that we eat also matters here. I hope that answers.
Okay, so since we are women, we want to know about this tummy. So, but before we go into the types of foods that we should avoid, maybe can we just run through some of the tests for 40 plus screening, because there was a question in one of the people were asking the 40 plus screening for women.
Okay, yes. No, not just screening. I thought to find out whether one is going into menopausal phase, perimenopausal. I thought the question was around menopause, or is it general?
No, I had mentioned that there's 40 plus screening that maybe could be picked during that time.
All right.
So someone asked that what were the tests involved with 40 plus screening?
Well, so the test, and I believe that would also provide this later on after this session. So there are general tests that you have to do, and then I'll go to the specific ones. The general ones are your blood pressure, monitoring your blood pressure, blood sugar, because that's important. For blood pressure, we want to check for, because the blood pressure will signify whether there is some form of heart disease going on, like hypertension. The blood sugar would help us to know if, when we look at hyperglycemia, diabetes, and all of that, to prevent that. And if there is, to begin to treat as soon as possible. And then we're also looking at the cholesterol levels and the lipid profile, because that helps to know how much, I don't want to use it, how much cholesterol you have in the blood, because you know that you don't want cholesterol thinning the blood vessels, because then that can cause a lot of,